You'll be shocked to learn how a regular passenger flight turned into a terrifying mystery. All because one man woke up alone on a dark, silent plane. Imagine this. You're on a late-night flight, dozing off to the gentle hum of the engines. You wake up, not to the familiar announcement for landing, but to complete darkness and a chilling silence. This isn't a scene from a movie. This was the reality for a man named Tom. He was a passenger on a routine domestic flight, one he'd taken many times before. The flight was scheduled to be short, just over an hour, connecting two bustling cities. The airline had a reputation for punctuality and safety. Everything about that evening was normal. The boarding was smooth, the crew was professional, and the plane took off right on time. Tom, tired from a long day, settled into his seat and quickly fell asleep, expecting to wake up at his destination. But when he did wake up, the cabin was pitch black. The usual lights were off. The familiar engine noise was gone. He called out, "Hello?" But only his own voice echoed back. He fumbled for his phone, its flashlight cutting a nervous beam through the darkness. He walked down the aisle, his footsteps loud in the eerie quiet. He saw empty seats, discarded magazines, and leftover snacks. Every other passenger was gone. The crew was gone. He reached the cockpit and pushed the door. It swung open. The seats were empty. The controls were dark. There was no pilot, no co-pilot. Tom was completely alone on an empty parked airplane. The doors were locked from the outside. He was trapped. How could this happen? How could an entire crew deplane and forget a passenger? This bizarre incident actually happened. Let's look at the standard procedures. After a flight lands and passengers disembark, the cabin crew is supposed to do a final sweep. They walk through the entire cabin to check for forgotten items and, most importantly, to ensure no one is left behind. Following this, the ground crew, cleaners, and maintenance staff come aboard. The plane is then secured for the night. This is a multi-layered process designed specifically to prevent situations like Tom's. So, where did it all go wrong? Was it a simple mistake, or was there something else at play? To understand the breakdown, we need to examine the human element. Flight crews work long, often irregular hours. Fatigue is a major issue in the aviation industry. On that particular night, the flight was behind schedule. The crew was eager to finish their shift and head home. In the rush to complete their post-flight checks, it seems a critical step was missed. It was a classic case of human error, compounded by a chain of minor oversights. The cabin crew, believing the plane was empty, signed off. The ground staff, trusting the crew's report, proceeded to lock up the aircraft. Tom, in a deep sleep, and possibly in a window seat partially obscured, was simply missed. No single person was entirely to blame. It was a systemic failure. He was invisible to a system that relied on every single person doing their job perfectly, every single time. It was a 1 in a million chance. A perfect storm of tiredness and haste. The real turning point in this story isn't just about being forgotten. It's what Tom did next. Trapped and in the dark, his initial panic gave way to a strange sense of calm. He realized shouting was useless. He had his phone, but the battery was low. He decided to call his girlfriend. Imagine her surprise, receiving a call from him saying he was locked inside the plane he was supposed to have gotten off hours ago. At first, she thought it was a joke, but as he described the dark, empty cabin, the reality of the situation sank in. She immediately called the airline's customer service, but the late hour made it difficult to reach anyone who could help. Frustrated, she then called airport security. This call triggered the airport's emergency response. Security personnel were dispatched to the tarmac. Using flashlights, they began searching for the specific aircraft. From inside, Tom saw the beams of light dancing across the windows. He started banging on the window, using his phone's flashlight to signal back. Finally, they spotted him. A maintenance crew was called in to bring a mobile stairway and unlock the door. When the door finally hissed open, Tom walked out, not to an angry mob, but to a group of bewildered airport employees. They couldn't believe their eyes. They had never seen anything like it. The airline offered a sincere apology, a hotel room, and a limousine ride home. Tom, surprisingly, was in good spirits, more amused by the absurdity of it all than angry. The incident forced the airline to conduct a thorough internal investigation. They reviewed their post-flight procedures and implemented stricter protocols. This included a new rule requiring 2 crew members to conduct the final cabin sweep independently and cross-verify that the aircraft is empty. They also invested in better training focused on the dangers of procedural fatigue. The story became a case study within the industry, a stark reminder that no matter how routine a task is, checklists and protocols exist for a reason. It highlighted how easily a simple human error can escalate into a major security and safety incident. Tom's experience, while bizarre and frightening, ultimately led to positive changes that made air travel safer for everyone. So, what can we take away from this? This story isn't just about a man forgotten on a plane. It's a powerful lesson about the systems we rely on every day and the human element within them. We often put blind faith in procedures, assuming they are foolproof. But systems are only as strong as the people who operate them. Tom's story shows us that even in the most regulated industries like aviation, mistakes can happen. It reminds us of our own fallibility. More importantly, it highlights the importance of staying calm and thinking clearly in a crisis. Tom didn't panic. He assessed his situation and found a logical solution. It makes you wonder, how would you react if you woke up in a similar situation? Would you panic, or would you find a way out? It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected challenges reveal our true strength. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, consider subscribing for more deep dives into incredible real-life events. See you in the next video.